What has happened to my PGA DFS friends and fans? Thank you for joining me on my top 5 sleepers video presented by Yahoo Fantasy. I am Jason Rouslin, your host of it. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to give you my top 5 sleepers for this week's Valero Texas Open. Now, the goal, of course, is to win the biggest prizes this week, but with an eye on next week and planes from Jupiter, Florida in the air, I can understand the buzz going around of Tiger Woods maybe playing or maybe not playing. Certainly all indications are that he is. So what we're going to do here this week is we're going to try and win some big money and build that bankroll up for the biggest and best PGA DFS contest coming next week. So let's jump right in. Also want to make sure you guys like and subscribe to our channel here. We're going to have a plethora of amazing content coming out on this channel here and our OddsShopper channel for the upcoming Valero Texas and, of course, next week's Masters. So, all right, now let's jump right into our sleepers pick. Now, if you watched my value video, my top 5 value video for the Valero Texas, maybe you got an inkling of who this first golfer is going to be. And it is a former winner of the event coming off a 15th place finish at the Puerto Rico Open last week, coming in at just $6,700 on DraftKings and just 1% projected ownership. It's Kevin Chappell. And while Chappell went through a period of golf where he was on the Ryder Cup and certainly in the upper echelons of players, he went out and had a back problem. Had to have surgery and really hasn't ever been the same player since. Yeah, he threw up a 59 in one round, but still has not reached even close to the pinnacle he was before. So maybe the 15th place finish last week at Puerto Rico and now coming back to an event that he won before will get his mojo going. When we look at his strokes gained off of the tee or just in general, 196 off the tee, 171 on the approach, 162 around the green, and 170 putting. Anybody with those stats are going to really struggle. So look for Kevin Chappell to not be highly owned this week, but maybe carrying some momentum here into the TPC San Antonio. Okay, next thing I want to talk about is Cameron Champ. He's qualified for next week's Masters, but he has not had a good year, like not a good year at all. However, when given the opportunity, when there's no win problems or anything, Cameron Champ hasn't looked all that bad. Things are at least going in the right direction. And he came in 34th here last year. So the fact that he's coming at just $6,900 and 1.6% owned, we know how much he loves next week, how much he would love to find a little bit of form before the Masters for playing Augusta National. So for Cameron Champ at just 1.6% owned and $6,900, I will certainly have my fair share. Before we move on, let's take a look at his strokes gained rank this season, see why he's struggling. 35th on his off the tee game. We know he's superb there. But 188 on the approach. That is certainly regressing. We knew he wasn't great with the approach. He ended up having an uptick last year, but a regression certainly here early on in the season. He will need to find that. Around the green is not much better, 182. But his putting has improved. Saying it has improved and being ranked 153rd isn't saying much. But still, nonetheless, Cameron Champ is certainly somebody to eye this week. Next guy I want to talk about is Robert MacIntyre. He's coming in at $7,800 this week. I think that is quite expensive for a guy that really isn't all that proven, at least not yet. But we'll play in the Masters next week because he finished 12th last year, which automatically gets him in. Coming in at $7,800, overpriced, and just 4% owned. Now, MacIntyre has had a decent season over on the European Tour. He did play last week at the match play and won a match and lost a couple there. Didn't get out of group stage, though he did the year before. Still, MacIntyre, who's coming in this week, he's on a made cut stretch of 4, tied for 13th, tied for 9th, and tied for 15th before his match play event. So some pretty good recent form here for Robert MacIntyre, who I do expect to play well this week and carry that momentum into next week, where certainly it has been said that Augusta National is made for left-handed golfers. So we'll see if that continues. But still, not a full-time member on the PGA Tour, not even close. We'll see if Bobby MacIntyre can get himself a little closer with a solid start this week. All right, next guy has been running through the PGA Tour this year. Maybe not running through, but certainly has had a fantastic rookie season. Maybe just behind Cameron Young and a few others that would be considered for the award. It's Davis Riley. He's coming in at just 7% on this week and $8,400, but he came in first place here at this event on the Korn Ferry Tour. 2 years ago, and he's coming off a second place finish at the Valspar Championship. So all signs are pointing in the right direction. Now let's check in and see how Davis Riley makes his strokes, or makes his money, I should say. He's ranked 55th off the tee. Very good, especially in his first season on tour. 132 on the approach. That's not bad. 122 around the green. Not awful. And 74th putting. All good stats and in line with how you want to be on this course. So take a long look at Davis Riley this week. Okay, my fifth and final sleeper is one of my top 5 golfers that have a chance to qualify for next week's Masters by winning this event, or it should say top 5 names on this list. There are a bunch of golfers in this field, obviously, that if they win, they'll be making the trip to Augusta. But certainly most people would want to see Jason Day next week. He's had a very tough go of it in his personal life. His mother passed away from cancer a couple of weeks ago, and he got put in a bad spot in the weather at the Players Missed the Cut. Then he went to Valspar, which to me, Innisbrook, is probably the last course that I'd want to put Jason Day on. He missed the cut there. Still, signs are pointing in the right direction. Maybe not if you look at the stats, though. The stats not so great. But prior to his mother passing away, certainly signs were pointing in the right direction. He had a top 10, a couple of other good starts. So strokes gained off the tee is 175, 149 on the approach, 98th around the green, and 73rd putting. So that's it for Jason Day. That'll do it for my top 5 sleepers for this week's Valero Texas Open. Of course, let me take a second now and tell you about an incredibly good deal we've got going on with Yahoo Fantasy this week. We know that the biggest and baddest PGA DFS contests are coming next week. So if you want a free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum, all you got to do is be a new user to sign up on Yahoo, enter your first paid contest, and we will get your email from Yahoo. Then we'll send you a code to get you a free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum. That's going to give you access to ownership projections, player projections, pro plays tool, and so much more to help you win the big bucks this week and at next week's Masters. So until then, everybody, make sure you tune in to our live shows this week, PGA DFS Strategy with Ben and Eric, 1 p.m. Tuesday. If you're watching this after 1 p.m. Tuesday, check it out on playback, or join Ben and I on Live Before Lock on Wednesday at 8 o'clock. So until then, everybody, good luck, and we'll see you on the other side. Cheers.